Before the Vienna settlement, the social condition of almost all of Europe has been in chaos, capsized by problems of monarchy and revolution due to the stirring ideas of Enlightenment. The biggest initiation was due to the rise and fall of Napoleon. In 1815, all of Europe was in a state of disunity. Germany was made up of 314 kingdoms that were independent of each other of many different nationalities, religious beliefs, and ways of ruling. In 1815, the Confederation of Germany, the Bund, was established in charge of making decisions to unite these kingdoms once and for all. Theoretically, Austria was the main power in charge of the entire Confederation, yet actually the power was relentlessly challenged by Prussia. Due to this growing rivalry, the Confederation of Germany soon began to split into two groups that triggered two sides of nationalistic identity that would soon bring war that would decide the fate of Germany. The economic contribution of the unification was quite significant, as for the reign of Napoleon and the economic reforms had inspired motivation to revive Prussia, through extreme industrialization in the forms of educational reform, the consolidation of modern militia, and trade economy. As Prussia did this, he was able to control countries around him and gain power. On the other hand, Austria had the same goal in mind, yet to her misfortune Austria perished, as she had encountered many problems such as losing key allies such as Russia and lost many wars of her own against France and the rebelling northern Italian states. All these events slowly weakened the once dominating power of Middle Europe. A man by the name of Otto von Bismarck was a main Prussian leader that guided Germany to the path of unification. Bismarck's goal was to acquire the ultimate power over Germany on behalf of Prussia. In order to reach this, he needed to first win the support of the Bund and then completely eradicate all possible competition, Austria. Bismarck managed to form the Zollverein in 1834. It encompassed an act to abolish all trade tariffs and the establishment of modern transportation between all territories. After all, the main objective was to gain size in Prussian Empire and economically build these countries to match the development of Austria. Unintentionally, this created and strengthened economic ties between countries under Prussian rule, allowing further cultural diffusion and thus contributed to the sense of national unity. The formats from 1815 to 1848 was the stirring of nationalism and liberalism feelings. These people longed for a unified identity and thus put together many groups that urged for a unified Germany. Despite the regression acts, the spread did not cease. Eventually, these acts were withdrawn and the ideas of unification flourished and soon demanded for a unified Germany. Now Prussia or Austria, one had to be chosen. Politics was one of the main rules of unification. Manipulation with words and persuasion with skill was the key to unlocking unity. Bismarck was also a man of Realpolitik. In every obstacle that obstructed his path, he was always able to get around through tactic and skillful use of words and diplomacy. While the race of annexing as many countries as possible raged on between Prussia and Austria, the fight for Schleswig and Holstein was the ultimate provocation that finally sparked the long-anticipated war. This was after Denmark lost a war after attempting to claim these countries, that it was declared that Prussia takes Schleswig and Austria takes Holstein. Austria refused this proposal as they had to cross hostile Prussian territory to get to Holstein, triggering Austria to declare war. Just according to plan, Bismarck had already made many alliances with France and Italy to help out in the long-anticipated war, and Austrians were quickly defeated in the 7 weeks war that followed. Next on Bismarck's radar was France, the next large power. He used the same tactic in demeaning France's power as Austria's. First, he started off by removing all powerful allies that could come to aid France, Russia. Due to purely the offer of a king's place from Spain initiated tension between France and Prussia, as France was in fear of powers of Prussia that would completely encircle France. Thrilled by the offer, Bismarck hoped it was accepted, but it wasn't. All seemed calm until France sent yet another request, demanding that the king should never accept the Spanish crown, an unnecessary and rude demand that sparked the inferno. Bismarck took over elated by another opportunity and wrote up the Ems telegram publicly that clearly depicted one meaning: "We will not listen to you and sternly refuse." This provoked France and soon initiated a full-blown war that was won by Prussia. In conclusion, partial credit of the unification was the people. In times of threats with other countries, the citizens were able to overcome and collaboratively fight in the end form of a united nation. Yet most substantially, the unification of Germany was actually many small skillful devised events by Bismarck. These accumulated events turned out the way they did due to the skill of Bismarck with Realpolitik, persuasion, and the usage of implementing provocative strategy. solely the entire Franco-Prussian War was due to the coaxing of Bismarck to have the events of small affairs go completely amiss. Through merely the words presented through the Ems telegram and how it was interpreted dictated the entire potential of war between France and Prussia. Moreover, we had greatly underestimated the impact of Napoleon Bonaparte had enforced in Prussian consolidation, as for Bismarck took not only the economical ideas of Napoleon, but as well as the ideas of political and propagandized depiction of words and power. All in all, Bismarck was able to solidify the scattered state of the previously known Holy Roman Empire, and through merely words and tactics was able to consolidate one of the greatest, most powerful countries of Europe.